Last week, the British Prime Minister David Cameron claimed a diplomatic victory on social benefits for foreign workers, which has been the biggest challenge in the EU summit. David Cameron might be right, since other countries already said they are interested. While sticking to the core principles of the EU, Angela Merkel paid tribute to the agreement reached in Brussels, especially on the issue of child benefit.
Bei der Kindergeldregelung gilt das für alle gleichermaßen, für Großbritannien und alle Mitgliedstaaten. Und deshalb kann Deutschland davon Gebrauch machen. So wie die Dinge laufen, werden wir das jetzt in der Koalition überlegen. Aber ich kann mir sehr gut vorstellen, dass wir das auch umsetzen für Deutschland.
For the German member of the European Parliament, David McAllister, this standpoint is justified.
I believe child benefits are rather high in certain member states, and it's got a lot to do with the higher standard and costs of living in this country. But if your children are not in this country, but you're in another country, I think this is a matter of fairness. Why should then you become a British or a German level of child benefit if your children aren't living in the UK or in Germany? So I do understand that the Chancellor, and not only the Chancellor, but a number of other leading German politicians are supportive of this idea.
But Angela Merkel doesn't stand alone on this topic. The Prime Minister of Denmark has also publicly explained that they are interested in this family allowances measure. According to Vivien Pertusot from the French Institute of International Relations, this deal could open the Pandora's box for other member states.
A lot of member states make the connections between migration, Schengen, social benefits, and so other member states can actually be interested to have a deal that is relatively similar to what the UK had. That's the first point, and the second point is that, of course, when you make a deal with one member state, some other member states may be interested to have something similar.
During last EU summit, David Cameron managed to obtain a safeguard mechanism to limit over the period of 7 years some social aids for new migrants coming from the EU. He obtained also an indexation of family allowances for parents of whose children stayed in their home country. A number of concerns were raised by the Visegrad Group, composed of eastern countries, where hundreds of thousands of whose nationals are now settled in the United Kingdom and benefit from family allowances. For David McAllister, the German member of the European Parliament, their concerns are understandable.
And I do understand the Polish, the Hungarian, the Czech and the Slovak concerns. But in the end, we found a deal. And this deal has been signed by all 28 heads of state, so I do hope now that we have a solid ground for the Prime Minister to campaign in favour of his country remaining an active partner in the European Union.
Now that there is a deal, the Council is about to start a preparatory work on the revision of the Social Security Directive before the referendum on the 23rd of June.